6 signs an INTP likes you. How INTPs flirt and show love may differ from that of the norm. As introverts, INTPs are a socially awkward bunch. Social skills present a steeper learning curve for them, as their inferior FE would suggest. Because they loved spending so much time in their heads, where they are most comfortable, social skills are bound to become underdeveloped. INTPs are not completely devoid of a need for social interaction, but they simply aren't motivated to go out of their way to obtain it. If you are wondering if an INTP you know might be interested or trying to flirt with you, here are 6 signs an INTP guy or girl likes you. 1. INTP puns seduction. One possible hint that an INTP likes you may be in the humor they use. Although many INTPs may have a taste for dark humor, they are not typically given towards crass or gratuitously rude jokes. They love clever puns, though, and are known to crack a few, perhaps to the chagrin of other people. When they want to drop some subtle hints to someone they fancy, they might try to woo them with some cringy innuendos which will probably have the opposite of their intended effect. Their attempt at cheeky humor may be motivated by a desire to flirt. 2. INTP tries to impress you. Another sign an INTP is interested may be their desperate attempts at showing off their intellectual depth or any number of odd or unusual talents or skills they've developed. Examples of this could be juggling spoons, explaining the flaws of string theory, or solving a Rubik's Cube while wearing a blindfold. INTPs normally do not go out of their way to prove anything to anyone or convince them of how awesome they are. They do it all for their own gratification and rarely show off due to their bashfulness and modesty. If an INTP seems to be showing off, it might be a sign that they actually care what you think of them and want to appear interesting to you. 3. INTP is asking weird questions. Invasive questions are among the possible INTP signs of attraction. INTPs are not great at small talk because that is basically conversation for the sake of conversation. An INTP would rather imagine ways of creating an atmosphere for the moon instead. But when they are infatuated with someone, they may actively look for ways to engage with them, and often the best way they know how is to just ask questions. They may, however, have to curb their tendency to steer the conversation into topics that only they are interested in. People's eyes glaze over when INTPs geek out about the Mandelbrot set or go into a lengthy explanation about Nietzschean philosophy hidden in popular movies. An INTP may ask questions that seem like probing, but more likely, this is just a sign that they are genuinely interested and innocently curious. The questions will most likely center around philosophical ideas and values, or whatever shared interests they can identify in the other person. 4. INTP acts overly ambivalent towards you. This is not so much a visible sign, but rather a confounding and self-sabotaging defense mechanism INTP deploys, probably out of fear of rejection. INTPs are generally very nice people, and if they seem like they don't care about you, it could be that they genuinely don't, or that they're trying to conceal their true feelings with a very calculated poker face. The sad thing is that sometimes an INTP can take as much pleasure in just the idea of being with a person than actually experiencing it. INTPs may try to mask their feelings with reaction formation, a defense mechanism whereby they deliberately adopt an attitude and behavior that belies what they actually feel. They may not go so far as to be rude or mean in any way, but they may exhibit an oddly cavalier attitude or act a bit too arrogant to counteract the anxiety and butterflies they feel. 5. INTP makes sustained eye contact, or at least tries to. Significant amounts of eye contact could be a sign an INTP is enamored with you. For an INTP, looking into people's eyes can be like staring directly at the sun. Aside from the purpose of projecting honesty, INTPs generally feel little need to look into people's pupils. They only feel compelled when they are emotionally invested in the person or care deeply about what they have to say. If an INTP is holding eye contact, they are probably making a concerted effort to do so to show interest. If you notice their pupils are dilated, then science says they're definitely liking what they see. 6. INTP remembers things about you. One of the ways an INTP shows love is by displaying how conscientious they can be when they want to. Normally, an INTP is largely oblivious to details of anything that falls outside their purview. What they consider most important tends to get all their attention at the exclusion of anything they consider mundane or devoid of intellectual interest. When it comes to someone they actually like, an INTP may suddenly direct this intense fixation towards that person and take a special interest in the smallest of things about them, such as their birthday or remembering the names of people they mentioned only briefly before. The INTP will form a mental catalog indexing all types of subtle details about someone they love that will either make that person feel special and cherished or creeped out and disturbed. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the Personality Theory channel for more.